Aside from the realm of competitive combat sports, there's no other sport that offers much hard-hitting, action-packed contact as what we see regularly in the NFL. And despite having the hardest, strongest, meanest players on the field being the preferred advantage, sometimes players just cross the line and become too violent for everyone's comfort. In this video, we're taking a look at 10 of the dirtiest players in the NFL. Before we jump into it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and ring the notification bell for our newest videos. Number 10. Rodney Harrison. Rodney Harrison has had one of the most storied NFL careers, having played for 15 seasons from 1994 to 2009 with the San Diego Chargers and the New England Patriots. Considered as one of the best players in Patriots history, he holds the pro record for sacks by a defensive back at 30.5 and is the first NFL player to obtain 30 sacks and 30 interceptions. Aside from these records and his 2 Super Bowls, he also had a reputation for delivering dangerous head-to-head hits. The veteran strong safety also spent most of his 15-year career being thought of as among the league's dirtiest players. Harrison was voted the dirtiest player in the NFL by other players in 2004 and 2006, while NFL coaches awarded him the same title in 2008. He spent over $200,000 for fines due to illegal hits throughout his career. But as Harrison himself would have it, quote, "As a player, you must have a warrior mentality. Players would rather take a shot high rather than at the knees. I get hit in the head and I miss a game or two. But if you take out my knees, my career is done." End quote. That's a well-meant targeted blow, if there ever was one. Number 9. Deacon Jones. Considered as one of the greatest defensive players ever to play in the NFL, Deacon Jones, who was aptly nicknamed the Secretary of Defense, revolutionized football as the great defensive end is credited for coining the term sacking the quarterback, as he specialized in quarterback takedowns even before the static was ever quantified. Deacon Jones is notorious for his head slap technique, where he would daze blockers by socking them in the small ear hole of their helmets. With this, Jones became one of the league's most feared defensive players, having played the bulk of his career with the Los Angeles Rams. He is still considered as one of the most valuable Rams of all time and has accumulated 173.5 sacks over his career. Number 8. Hines Ward. One of the best blockers in league history, despite holding the wide receiver position, Hines Ward was also notorious for delivering cheap shots. Ward played his entire pro career for the Pittsburgh Steelers and became the team's all-time leader in receptions, receiving yardage and touchdown receptions. He also often would deliver blindside blocks that led to penalties, fines, and injuries. In 2008, Ward delivered an intense blindside block that broke the jaw of former Bengals linebacker Keith Rivers, leading him to miss the rest of the season. This led the NFL to implement the appropriately named Hines Ward rule, making a blindside block illegal if a player used his helmet, forearm, or shoulder to hit a defender in the head or neck area. Number 7. Jack Tatum. One of the anchors of the legendary Soul Patrol secondary, safety Jack Tatum was more popularly known as the Assassin due to his playing style. Having played for the Oakland Raiders for most of his 10-season career, from 1971 to 1980, he left quite a painful legacy due to his hard hits. In a 1978 preseason game against the New England Patriots, Tatum delivered a devastating hit on Patriots wide receiver Darryl Stingley that broke the receiver's 4th and 5th vertebrae and left him completely paralyzed from the chest down. Tatum's hitting style was well recognized in the 70s, as his New York Times obituary stated when he passed in 2010 at the age of 61. Quote, "Tatum was a symbol of a violent game." End quote. Number 6. Roy Williams. A notable safety during his 9-season career playing for the Dallas Cowboys and the Cincinnati Bengals until his retirement in 2011, Williams was known throughout the league for his hard hitting and his tackling skills during running plays. He also had the knack of getting other players injured using the now banned horse collar tackle, in a move in which a defender tackles another player by grabbing the back collar of an opponent's shoulder pad, pulling a ball carrier's feet violently from underneath him. Williams used this move against former Philadelphia Eagle Terrell Owens, which left Owens with a broken leg. In 2004 alone, Williams used the same tackle and ended up injuring 3 players in the 2004 season alone. After the season, the horse collar tackle was banned in the NFL, and the action was referred to as the Roy Williams rule. Number 5. Ndamukong Suh. Considered as a talent and yet vicious defensive end who played for the Detroit Lions, the Miami Dolphins, LA Rams, and is currently with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Ndamukong Suh is recognized as one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. Despite having won numerous awards, including being named the Defensive Rookie of the Year, the imposing Suh is notorious for his overall dirtiness. Aside from starting multiple fights on the field, his aggressive style of play and lack of sportsmanship, Suh has been fined by the NFL several times, costing the player a total of $342,500. He's gotten quite infamous for sanctions due to dirty play, with Suh being called the step-on, choke, kick, and armbar guy. In one instance, an illegal low block brought Suh a substantial fine of $100,000, the NFL's highest ever fine for an on-field infraction due to his controversial history. Number 4. James Harrison. This linebacker is a two-time Super Bowl champion who also holds the Steelers' all-time sack record with 80.5. Notorious for headhunting players in the middle of the field, his cheap shots may be accredited to him being too short at 6 feet flat to be a linebacker and too light at 240 pounds to play on the defensive line. He did, however, make up for this through blunt force. He once knocked Cleveland receivers Joshua Cribbs and Mohamed Massaquoi out of the game. The amount that Harrison has been fined has become more of local lore among Steelers fans, but his actual total was $150,000 on 6 fines sanctioned by the NFL. The NFL even gave some of the money back after Harrison appealed a $75,000 penalty, which the NFL reduced to $50,000 for one particular sanction due to a flagrant hit, which caused concussions. Number 3. Vontaze Burfict. Despite being an elite college baller coming from the Arizona State University, Vontaze Burfict wasn't drafted due to his unpredictability. Having signed with the Cincinnati Bengals as an undrafted free agent in 2012, where he stayed for most of his playing years, his reputation as a hard-to-handle player followed him throughout his pro career as well. In 2016, Burfict placed an illegal hit on Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Antonio Brown during a 4th and long, which was completely unnecessary and cost the Bengals a playoff win. Burfict's dirty plays has literally cost him millions. It's been reported that he has racked up an insane $4.2 million in fines and lost salary due to suspensions throughout his career. Number 2. Bill Romanowski. As a linebacker in the league for 16 seasons, who played mostly with the San Francisco 49ers and the Denver Broncos, Romanowski maintained a controversial career due to engaging in unsportsmanlike behavior, leading to numerous altercations with opponents and even his own teammates. Notorious for unrelenting cheap shots and late hits, he broke quarterback Kerry Collins' jaw in a preseason game. He also punched his own teammate, Marcus Williams, during a scrimmage scuffle that forced Williams to retire from playing football as the fight resulted in a broken eye socket and a chipped tooth. He once threw a football at Brian Cox and hit him in the place that no ball should ever hit. At one training camp, Bill found himself in yet another fight, and instead of throwing punches, he threw a microwave instead. Number 1. Conrad Dobler. Known for his notoriety, even in the annals of NFL history, Conrad Dobler is often remarked as the dirtiest guy ever to play in the NFL. Having played as a guard for 10 seasons, mostly with the St. Louis Cardinals, his career spanned from 1972 to 1981. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler during his Cardinals tenure, but would be most remembered as a leg-whipping, eye-gouging, gut-punching, head-slapping, and finger-biting offensive lineman in the brutal world of professional football. Perpetual pain became a part of his job description. As much as he was dishing it out, he also received it as well, having his own share of knee, shoulder, and finger injuries that would bring him to the operating room. He himself remarked that it was part of the job, but as an offensive lineman, he would punch defenders in the stomach when they put up their hands to swat a pass, spitting at them as they squirmed down the field. Dobler openly acknowledged his notoriety with his autobiography entitled "They Call Me Dirty." In it, Dobler details his physical pain endured from his years as a professional gladiator in the league. So what do you think about the 10 dirtiest NFL players of all time? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for more videos just like this one.